Yo. Hey, good evening. All right, well, it's Friday. Yo, Korik, how's it going? You recognize
Great.
either of these guys? Gonna play some Crosskeys tonight?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are just fantastic random players, and also both very good at this mode. So this, and it is like the best mode, so it should be
I
a
agree.
great evening. So
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this
pretty
is also part of.
excited.
Oh yeah, this is part of Dunka's Megatational. Arguably, actually one of the best names I've heard thus far in my entire like commentary, rando watching career. The Megatational, only to be trumped by, I don't know, the Gigatational. I don't know, in a couple seasons. We'll see. We'll see what Duncan decides to put together. But yeah, we got Zelda and Zelda. So okay, so I believe this is Zelda's last, final game in groups. So he. I believe he has beaten Werfjig, and he had beaten Skelly, I believe, last night. And so yeah, we're definitely just looking. He's gonna look for a clean sweep here over Telethar. Telethar, I believe. Okay, at least what Duncan said, he needs. Zelda advances with a win, and I think Telethar also advances with the win. Maybe we'll check. We'll check the. We'll check the official stats on that.
So we're seeing a double sync start.
Yeah, so this seems to be kind of like, I don't know. So, okay, I think when I first started watching Crosskeys, which is maybe when you were more like, what is it, like 2019 or something like that, a lot of people did like Link's House Start into Houlihan. It's over the years, I've seen many more people do Sank Start nowadays. Where do you find Ganon? Telethar was very,
YOLO.
very interesting, like, just head first.
Yeah, now Telethar going for Link's House, Zelda doing the Houlihan. Does look like Telethar is coming down towards the lake. I like coming down here early. You can get a couple kills to set up a tree pull if you want to. It doesn't look like he's doing that. I guess he'll get like one or two.
Yeah. Okay. He does have powder.
Yeah, powder.
I don't know if that does actually anything. Yeah, but I guess okay. So the good news is, I think was that a heart container on the ledge?
It sure was.
On the lake? Okay, all right. So we're not getting that.
Really important. Yeah.
What are these entrances? They look absolutely the same as if we weren't playing Crosskeys. I want my money back. My full price of 0 rupees that I paid for this ticket.
So this is interesting. Telethar going towards Eastern with no resources. Like, this is slightly risky. You can find things like, Agina, or things like chess game, just things that you can't complete and it takes a while to get back to. Alternatively, you can find stuff you can do that has a lot of value. So the good thing about the Eastern area is that there's no item requirements for anything over here.
Assuming he survives, yes. I agree.
And Zelda is doing the same thing, except he has 10 bombs and the rupees from the Houlihan. So
yeah, I was actually just thinking that.
This makes a lot, it's a lot less risky on Zelda's side.
Oh no. Well, I don't think the bombs would help.
Yeah, Telethar. The early Eastern play, there are a lot of things that can just like hit you. The Octoroks do 1 heart. And they kind of get in the way a lot. So, it's not an ideal situation, but there wasn't much he could have done anyway. It would have been really hard to get. He was down to 1 heart. So, just shaking it off, hoping there's nothing over there that's important, and making his way to Kakariko. Not getting any bombs at the 50-50 bushes, like you do.
Yeah. This is almost like it's like 3 for 3 on Telethar's side, which I'm a little bit, like, yeah, you said, like this is still early, like there's no reason to, to be upset. Zelda, on the other hand, he manages to skirt by the Octoroks, and yeah, he was actually kind of rewarded. At least finding Hyrule Castle, and we've got some bombs. I mean, he'll be fine with health, but Zelda, I'm pretty sure, has done bomb escape like 1 million times by this point.
It shouldn't be a problem for him. In some ways, it's kind of like a time save for Telethar because he's gonna have to go. I mean, he found some other part of Hyrule, so maybe not. But he's gonna have to come back to Hyrule if he got there, whereas Zelda, could just do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, he has to backtrack anyway. So taking the death, like, it's not like extra backtracking because he was gonna backtrack anyway. It's like one way to look at it, the most positive spin way. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And again, I mean, it's also just very, very early, right? We're not even 5 minutes in, and granted, like, if you, oh, well, there's Paradox, another great location where it would have been quite nice to have any type of money. That like normally, I don't know how you feel about Houlihan starts, as in like you just do. I mean, but right now it seems like it has been really working out for Zelda, being able to do bomb escape, really well for that matter, really well, nice bomb placements, big key too. Ooh, hey, that's your key. That's a really nice key.
So, like, you know, my early start is typically trying to get 2 different tree pulls and checking a bunch of different prize packs. I think that's a nice, and checking a bunch of entrances in the meantime. Like, I think that's like a nice compromise between the time it takes to do Houlihan and the time it takes to just you lose to try to find resources. But I do think like Houlihan, like after, trying to find some resources is still pretty valuable. Zelda setting up the Death Warp.
Yeah, Teletar's using his the one bomb out of like the I don't know 5-ish attempts that he needed to try to get a free bomb on, 2 on the 50-50 rocks, and then another one here in the bush. Okay, so we're 2 for 6 at least. Yes, Teletar's resource situation is really kind of it's very very sparse right now. Hopefully he's gonna be able to get something.
Definitely taking a more aggressive route. Just trying to get a little bit lucky with what he gets. He just found desert, not electing to go in yet. Makes sense, and we know that the big key is available, so that kind of works
logic,
out too.
Right?
It is not, like, but you want to get the chest. If you're walking through desert, you want to check the chest while you're there.
Very true.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so Teletar also found Castle Tower. Like, so under what circumstances would you actually like try to get the first chest? Like, I mean, in terms of like weaponry, like 10 bombs, is that enough?
No,
okay.
No way in hell am I doing the first chest of Castle Tower with 10 bombs. Like, if it's last location, of course, but otherwise, I'm like getting the fuck out of there.
All fair. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know. Again, you mentioned, maybe being aggressive, and and not like it actually matters in Teletar's case because, again, we have 1 bomb.
We really haven't seen a lot yet. I mean, Zelda obviously got that nice front of escape going. I guess he didn't go for the dark sewer chest. That's not really a surprise. It is like pretty high variance to do it in the dark with no weapons. I mean, I usually do because I'm an idiot, but
he's got, oh no, I was gonna say he does have powder, but we have no magic because that is still a version of like echolocation. Not actually not the worst one in my opinion. Oh my god. Oh no, dude, this Houlihan reward has like is just expounded in terms of ROI. Like holy cow! All right, so Zelda's gonna do basically all of the front of escape.
Okay.
Able to Paradox. Get there's boost.
So,
okay,
if Teletar finds a bomb pack in here, he will go back to Paradox. Because he'll have 50 rupees, and he can open the bottom and get the shop. Okay, so I think he'll go back to Paradox now. And then he'll get his boost. I could be wrong.
Oh, he's got a lamp. Very interesting.
I think that's what he will do with these 50 rupees.
I mean, well, so because it is oh my gosh. Okay, Anosaur. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going back. Yeah, I was gonna ask. I mean, so like Paradox is certainly extremely like high density in terms of items. I mean, is that like basically like what your priority is, or do you kind of keep going in your route here? Because he's got a lot of Kakariko still left to go to.
I mean, oh, he's up here. It's fine to just check the drops, I guess, or like check what's up here. But you definitely go back to Paradox before leaving Kakariko. Like I don't see why you wouldn't. Since he has a sword, he could actually buy Bottle Vendor and still be able to manage Paradox with 3 bombs. You need 1 to bomb open the bottom and then 1 to get the switch.
Okay, and yeah, right. Yeah, so he does have 6 bombs. Oh, and he's got GT as well. All right. Well, we can't really do anything in GT at least. I mean, I guess it's for the better in this case, right?
Yeah, we can get a couple items and scout the torch, but yeah, we can't really do too much. I mean, Zelda can get that piece of heart. I'm sure that would be very important.
Oh, yes. Him. Ooh, all right. Well,
yeah, with the boots and the Desert Big Key, this is definitely, yeah, I would definitely come in here.
Well, so would you follow the connectors, or would you keep going? Like, would you basically try and get out and then like finish up the rest of Puerto Rico?
I'm a big connector follower.
Okay, all right.
I think I probably would check the connector. I hate going into desert and not checking at least one connector.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, right. I mean, the only reason I'm asking is, well, okay, like obviously, like Zelda doesn't know what else is left in Kakariko, but I mean, we saw Telethar like go get, like finds Blind Hut, right? And there's a sword in there, and it's really, really nice to have. So.
Hey, but like he's probably gonna get back to Kakariko sooner rather than later, regardless, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. All right. So in this case, yeah. So Telethar actually. So I think Zelda got the boots. I don't know, like 5 minutes or whatever. Yeah. Telethar is just a couple minutes behind. So certainly he might feel a little bad since he did find Paradox first, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, and Zelda has the Fire Rod, which apparently I completely missed out.
It was also in Paradox. Yeah. It was all here.
Okay. So Zelda is not checking a connector. So that's fine. So he made an explicit choice to pick up a lot of magic pots there. Makes sense because the Fire Rod's a very nice weapon to have. Also good to check dark rooms if in some dark rooms, like if you want to go back to escape or something.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess we have Dark Cross too, Zelda, which did not do, I believe. I'm not sure. He had nothing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So.
Yeah, he didn't risk it. Or this is another good use for the Fire Rod for sure.
Yeah, that's true. You can actually do
now,
the first chest.
Yeah, he wants to get the double shot here. It's usually pretty easy. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I will say everything that these guys do looks really easy. I don't know. I feel like sometimes maybe depending on your skill level, you might take that, it's really easy with a grain of salt. Maybe that one is actually, more easy than I think it is.
Yeah. If you wait till they're together, they'll probably you'll get both of them. It's not really an issue. I've never had it be an issue anyway.
All right, well that's good to know. Okay, so it was like 50 rupees. Not the greatest prize, but it's also, it's that's one fewer thing we have to go check out.
Yeah, so Telethar did check the connector there and, finds Mimic Cave in a terrible location. That's like one of the things that is really unfortunate in Crosskeys, when you find Mimic Cave in a location that you're like just gonna last location it after you find Hammer because it's just so terrible to get back to.
Oh, speaking of Hammer. Well, we also need a glove for this one, but I guess we did find Spike Cave, and well, we need a lot more stuff for Spike Cave. Cave, bottle. Well, I mean, maybe not logically, but we found Hookshot Cave. This is actually maybe something that. So with early boots, I think Zelda might give it the old college try. One and done, and then hopefully the party.
Oh, look him go!
Oh yeah. It was very, very close.
Yeah, it was pretty quick too. It was good hover movement. But yeah, one and done is fine.
Maybe he's like trying to get on the we all should hover every day team. Maybe for next season.
So we do see the well at the castle, but all we get really is a boomerang. Not that that's a bad thing. Boomerang's good. You're kind of hoping for a little bit better when you find a 5-item cave.
That's fair. Yeah, Zelda. All right. Also, so he's gonna make his way soon to Blind's Hut, and he'll get a sword soon. But we're just gonna have to finish up the rest of the connectors, or sorry, the entrances. Boomerang is actually kind of nice. I mean, well, we do have Lamp now. We will have a sword eventually on both sides. But Boomerang's also just kind of nice to be able to hit some switches or whatnot, right? Like some sort of ranged weapon from that's not the Fire Rod.
Sure. Yeah, you're never unhappy to find a boomerang randomly. Oh, this is interesting. We got a Bootslock Thieves Town, which is like a 4-item cave essentially. Could definitely see some progression here.
Yeah, kind of interesting also, just like very minor difference. I think Zelda has there's a nice key in Samaria.
So we have Kane and Fire Rod and GT. No small keys yet though.
Interesting. Okay. Well, so that means we get to tile room? Is that it?
You can steal the key from the left side.
Oh, true.
If you really want to, but it's like not in logic yet. So, but I mean, it's a lot of items. But you are killing Ice Armos with Spider Sword. I mean, there's just all sorts of shit else to it.
I'm sure we can find. I'm sure they can find a bow. On their paths. that's all they need. And they can find Burna.
The other cane, the other cane would be nice. But yeah, they are a little bit low on magic. But you get full magic in there, so yeah. Of course, you use most of that full magic to get. Those are details that they can work out later. It's fine.
I'm sure Zelda and Telethar are both very capable of using the lamp. They even have boots, right? So actually should make things a little bit nicer.
No, I mean, honestly, the right side of GT is very reasonable play right now. It's just not like the logical play, right? So
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So when you talked about like potentially sequence breaking, like for efficiency, like is this something that you like is suddenly just like bumped up in terms of priority? Because you mentioned it is pretty dense, right? As in like there's tile room, there's like you can get all the way to ice almost. I don't know, like it just might not be the most pleasant of
I mean, there's
experiences.
there's a ton of things you could find there that would improve the overall efficiency of your route. So you know, it's not really, and you know, Fighter Sword Ice Armos is not terrible. Like it's not like it's Hammer Ice Armos, right? Like
Okay.
or Boomerang
actually
Ice
probably fair.
Armos. Like it's manageable.
All right, but okay, so it sounds like though that maybe we can try and like just put off that location or at least like that side for the time being and try and
For
find
sure.
something else that would make our lives easier.
It's also very reasonable to put it off.
Like that Master Sword? What do you think?
Yeah. Master Sword makes it because we have the powder. Master Sword.
Oh, because we can powder the anti-fairy right above,
so you
right?
can guarantee that you have sword beams, and that's pretty important.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because Master Sword is actually weaker against Armos than Fighter Sword if you slash, because the game's cool like that. Or we just have a bow. That could also help.
That's an incredibly great sequence here. So thankfully Telthar actually had enough magic in order to do Magic Bat. For what it's worth, I guess we did have the cane, so we could actually fake real powder if we really needed to, but yeah, like, found the powder, go into Lost Woods, found the Master Sword, and also he finds a bow. Like, I don't know, well, okay, like, suddenly, how does Right Side GT look?
It's great. I mean, he's gonna go there. I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, Zelda is somewhere in the Mire area. I believe he bunny revived here into the left side of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I didn't quite catch the exact connector, but I think it's something on the right side of Mire at this point.
When you got Fire Rod, Turtle Rock is, you know, perfectly fine. Not much of a worry here. Let's see if Telethar gets the hover down. Well, no, he'll at least go for it, but...
Yeah, I think Telethar has certainly proven himself to be quite capable with the boots here. Certainly much more, probably, I was gonna say more consistent.
About the same distance as Zelda, and also making the choice to say, you know, I'm good. Although he has a knowledge of I can do a full right side of GT, so that like might make his decision a little bit like maybe if he didn't have that knowledge available, he would try again, but. No surprise here that he's stealing this key and he's gonna see what items he can find over here.
Yeah, I'm also wondering in this case if it's maybe like, so he knows that Zelda will also make one attempt to hover and then that's kind of it. So like maybe he also doesn't feel like a pressing need in order to try and take out all of Hookshot Cave, especially in this case when at least like at best he's, or at worst he's going to be at even parity. And then, you know, if it, yeah.
Yeah, the metagame aspect is always, you know, an interesting part of it. How much you know about your opponent's tendencies, how much you studied up on them, and how much you actually like care about metagaming versus just playing like what you view as the ideal route, like things like that. Always very interesting in 1v1s.
Oh yeah. Especially, yeah, I also don't know, like, I mean, I'm sure Zelda and Telethar consider each other, right, like an extremely like difficult and tough opponent to face. So I am kind of curious in this case to see like what they would kind of choose to do. Zelda could have just used that boomerang, by the way, in Chomps instead of using a bomb. I mean, he did fine, but it's just, you know, that's just crazier.
For sure. Power room with its normal value.
That's right, yes. But you can't leave it behind. That's the problem.
You definitely cannot leave it behind. Because every once in a while, it'll surprise you.
Alright, so Telethor's just gonna go use, well, he's gonna use Fire Rod, which is normal. Did consider maybe like other alternatives, like maybe using the lamp to try and save a little bit of magic, but he also has the bow, so, and a Master Sword. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he executed this room really well, so he was able to save a bit of magic here. Oh, and we have a hammer.
Oh my gosh. So, but you said the sequence broken, correct? And GT Picky, are you climbing?
So,
what?
Is it sequence broken? Because GT Big Key was there.
Oh, as in like...
And the hammer was there, so I think all you would need is one GT Small Key, technically? Because there's only one door we could have opened that would have blocked us, right?
Right, but I mean, like, do you still need to find that key though in the while?
To be logically in logic, you would need one GT Small Key, I think. I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'm really bad at GT key logic, to be honest with you. But I think
Well, no,
I think in the entrance logic, it does get like super specific with it. So, yeah, one GT small key would guarantee that you could get there, no matter what you did with your keys. So, I would assume that's all you would need.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just be on the lookout for it. But I mean, like I'm sure it'll turn up immediately at somewhere eventually, right? Because there's still a lot of locations these guys haven't been to, and it just could just be literally sitting in some like random cave somewhere, and this is all supposed to be good. But actually, despite kind of like the early hiccups that Telethar had in the early game, as in his save and quit basically when he went over to like Ganon, maybe he couldn't do the hula hand, has some kind of like precarious, I guess, like couldn't get any bombs for stuff, maybe slightly delayed, so he is like definitely on a roll right now in order to basically get all these items so quickly.
I mean, he has to skip the vanilla map chest here, but that's not a big deal. And yeah, Zelda has gotten a few checks since Telethar hasn't. He knows a bit more math knowledge and stuff, but Telethar getting the hammer, like, and the bow sooner than Zelda, that's definitely a nice advantage to have here. And we still don't even know what's going to be down here in the bottom. There could still be some more good value here.
Yeah, and actually, I didn't even think about this. Like, so GT Big Key is actually super convenient because we're just gonna go right by the GT Big Key chest, and we don't have to isolate it.
The crazy play is that if we find a GT small key, Telethar could just climb if he wanted to. I mean, that'd be crazy. It would be crazy, but like he could.
What is behind Ganon? I don't think we know for sure yet, do we?
Wow,
we have silvers too. Well, suddenly the offensive problem or lack thereof is certainly just resolved for us. I mean, we already have silvers pretty early. They don't actually cost any money this time. It's just regular silver arrows all throughout. That's right. Don't have to basically beg for as paupers do. But and then also.
So maybe that would take out the GT too, because he got it as well. So Zelda or Telethar not checking the big chest beforehand. I wonder what his plan is.
I assume he's gonna just run out, like walk out of Ice Armos.
Yeah, but like if he wants to run out, like where's he gonna go? Is my question.
Upstairs. He's just gonna climb. Don't worry.
But without the
he won't.
Key,
Yeah. He won't actually climb. I guess. What's actually back here? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. Well, we did find Sick Kid too. This is also kind of not. Yeah, I guess we'll just see if there's actually any value. But I mean, early potion is still kind of nice. I'm sure at least Zelda would. I mean, sure Telethar too would absolutely love a mirror at this point.
Yeah, so Zelda is here in GT. So I suspect that he's going to get do pretty much exactly the same thing Telethar has done here. Get his hammer, get his silvers, get the whole basement cleared out, except for the map chest, of course.
Yeah, because there's only one key. You really can't afford to spend it. I mean, I believe the map chest is actually locked by all 4 GT small keys because you can spend your keys like in a lot of places. So, if they don't end up getting that one location, like just. I don't know if it's observational bias or not. Like the fact that it's behind so many things, maybe can give you a little bit of mental comfort that you're probably not gonna leave anything super important behind. And if you do, your opponent's gonna probably do the same thing.
Yeah, Telethar has done the front of escape, so he's coming into the desert now and won't be able to check the big chest. So, like it's not important, but it is like a potential double dip here that Zelda will not did not have to do.
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah, I mean, and talking about like previously before, like Crosskeys is, I mean, like you talk about like efficiency, and like the fact that Telethar doesn't have it means that, well, even though it is an item that we know that he doesn't need, he potentially might have to spend extra time coming back for it. That's what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He will be checking all the connectors here. I don't know if we haven't seen any of them. So King's Tomb for the left side, and then. I mean, we don't have anything good for the Dark World, right? We don't have the Mirror or the Moon Pearl. So, I mean, checking connectors when you have them is always good, but, you'd rather have at least one or preferably both of those before you get too deep in your connectors, but sometimes you don't really have that option either.
Yeah, I was gonna ask them, I mean, like, how how willing are you to be like bunny walking basically Dark World, right? Like
Basically,
are you
that's my like last location, no matter what. Unless I have a mirror, then it becomes like a little bit more like, I don't know.
all right? Okay, well I think that's fair because at least you can at least cover some ground, I guess, right? You can use the mirror to sequence break into like Super Bunny form, but I guess like other than that, like it sounds like you just have to leave like a lot of stuff behind, or backtrack again, right? Into looping. All right. Is that Eastern Green Pendant? I think.
Yep, that's what he said.
Right.
Not a lot of value, but
We have not found Eastern yet. I sometimes wonder, honestly, like if Zelda finds out beforehand that it is Eastern, is Green Pendant Eastern, is he like more willing to go in, inside without the big key and the bow? I mean, we already have the bow in this case, but I'm not sure. But like the bow doesn't give you any extra checks. It's just that big key, right?
correct. Okay, so Telethar is rounding together the dam, but then going to the right. That's like uncommon based on my experience, but it's good. Like you're getting a lot of the in logic entrances together. You always have to, when you don't have the glove, like how you route South Shore is like a matter of preference, and it's nothing feels that great.
Yeah, I think at some point he did come out of Smoke Rock.
Oh, you're right. You're
yeah,
right.
so...
Never mind. Yeah, that's a great point. So
but
yeah,
I mean,
he is finishing this off then.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that being said, he still doesn't have a glove for that entrance, right? So, I guess, I mean, I don't know, also, it does seem some...
Yeah, he's just running out of good options, but here he finds probably the best option available, and probably where they're both supposed to go.
Oh, two connects? Okay, how do you pick?
Oh, you pick the one that gives you an item and, like, 5 more entrances, for sure.
That makes sense. Oh, right, because Old Man... Okay, this is in logic, and Old Man gives you an item, and it takes you somewhere in Death Mountain, guaranteed, right? So, yeah, now suddenly we have a lot better options. Or, sorry, more options. I didn't say better.
Yeah, so that definitely means that the other one is the right choice. But, you know, we'll figure that out later. It's
that is an axiom of rando, I do agree.
Big key. All right. We do know that. Well, it's not in logic though, but we do know that you could get to Crystal Roller right now, and also Laser Bridge by extension.
Looks like Zelda's actually doing the same thing. He like almost went into GT Big Chest room, yes, and he actually took all the time to backtrack. Yeah, so by the way, we're also getting a lot of big keys early. Not certainly a bad thing, just because like keys are considered to be part of entrance, like as our items, and so you do need those. And then like at least Zelda's got the Desert Big Key, right? And some of these other keys can be quite troublesome. Like Turtle Rock Big Key can also be quite troublesome towards the ends.
Yeah, and Telethar finding the dam, that's always nice to find early. Like, usually it's not a big issue, you're going to find it at some point, but there is this entrance seed every once in a while where it ends up being your go mode to find that darn thing, so... and it gives you 2 items, too. Well, it gives you 1 item, and then you have to actually remember that it gives you 2 items, which can also be an issue sometimes.
Yeah, well, right, so because Telethar came from South Shore, right? So he did the dam, and then he ran into Ice Rock Cave. So when do you go back?
I mean, you go back when you remember. I don't know. It depends on the quality of your other options, really. I mean, that's the right answer. And like the problem is, if you have other good options, like you could forget for a while. That could easily happen. But I don't think they have a ton of options right now, so.
Very interesting. So Zelga's gonna go back to Castle Tower. Well, I mean, it is in logic, and I guess he's here. I don't think Telethar does not have. Does he have the spell?
Oh yeah.
But you know, never mind. He has a hook shot, so
okay. Like he does. Hook shot's great. Obviously that gives us East Death Mountain. I guess he's all done here. He got through those entrances pretty quickly.
Yeah, certainly was able to make quite quick tours. I didn't see anything in First Just a Castle Tower. I was also not looking, but hopefully I don't see anything new on Zelga's tracker, so unless maybe it was a Harris small key.
You're better off not finding that.
Yeah, Well, I don't know. I mean, that's like one difference I think I see on Zelda's side that I don't see on Telthar's side. I'm pretty sure both of them
Yeah.
use auto hacking, so yeah. Well, we also haven't found Harry yet, so I mean, we don't have to necessarily worry about it quite yet. We did find
Okay.
Sick Kid at some point too, right? I want to say we
Mhm.
found a bottle. I mean, I remember finding Sick Kid early. Maybe Zelda is gonna be able to get it, but I mean, the fact that he's here at Desert makes me think that he is not going to go to Sick Kid.
Yeah, he's gonna check these connectors. Alex telling us that the Castle Tower key. Ooh.
Oh, thanks.
That's great. So we're finding the big chest. So this is a lot of items. We have the. Well, Telthar hasn't done any of this yet, so.
Yeah. What a convenient compass to be able to count along with, seeing all the items.
Absolutely. So he can get. He'll probably stop at chumps. Like, obviously, he could waste his key. Like, waste is probably the wrong word to use, but he could waste his key to go to the front. But I think most people here will use that key to go to Laser Bridge.
Because Laser Bridge has 4 more items as opposed to the front. I guess it's a longer way there.
Yeah, and I guess like the secondary hope is that you figure out where Laser Bridge is, and that maybe later you will have the Ice Rod, and then can just get to the front, like the easy way.
Oh, right, because when you beat the boss, you can get warp back at the beginning, so that's kind of like a free trip over. Gotcha. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah,
I mean also, it's wishful thinking, but that's kind of the hope.
Well, I mean, you gotta live with a little hopium, in order to get yourself through, through the seed. Oh, never mind. Okay, so Zelda's actually just being much more thorough. It looks like, trying to clear out the rest of Kakariko stuff. All right, he found the small king. Second chest of Castle Tower, came back into Sikkin. Looks like Telthar though decided to basically explore completely new territory. Even went to Ice Rock Cave without with potentially isolating the Smoke Rock Junior entrance because we have no glove. But I mean, certainly it seems to at least have paid off quite well. Just because we got up onto the mountain, we found a hook shot, and we certainly like a lot more access.
It certainly has worked out for Telethar so far, but
oh my gosh. About that working out really well.
He does have a few holes in his route, and Zelda, if he spikes something like here, for instance. Never mind. So right now, Telethar, he has a bit of a lead in the most broad terms imaginable, but because we're 31 minutes into a Crosskeys lead, but being the first one to hookshot, being the first one to mirror, being the first one to hammer, these are all important things. But it's still a very, very long way to go, and Telethar probably will come back and do many of these checks that Zelda is doing right now.
Yeah, that's certainly, I think, very reasonable. Oh, jeez. Okay. Talking about first, right? I'm pretty sure Telethar is just racking up the tallies here. So that is his first full glove as well. Oh, hey, look, it's a GT Smokey. Oh yeah, but I was gonna say but also when Telethar kind of even when he does retrace kind of some of Zelga's steps, right? He kind of saw how much more extra time that Zelga needed to death warp out of Dark Cross. Telethar is gonna have the mirror, so he's gonna be able to do that a bit faster. I was actually wondering earlier when Telethar or anyone was gonna come back to Mimic Cave. That peg just doesn't need to want to be hammered. It's fine.
So Laser Bridge is an inaccessible location. Oh, we got a big key on the ledge too. So that means Telethar could get that if he finds the connector that Zelga did before. Because Zelga has been in the Mire area. But yeah, so Telethar found that Laser Bridge is at right side of desert, so you actually have to travel through Turtle Rock as the connector to beat the dungeon.
So that means we have to actually traverse the whole way again, basically, or at least from the big chest.
I mean, if we want to beat the dungeon, which in theory, probably a good idea at some point. We don't know if it's a crystal yet, so.
Well, that's true, and so Zelga knows. Zelga will know when he goes back in and finds it because we got the map of Turtle Rock from Dark Cross. I don't think Telethar knows that information.
This is true. Telethar just gonna YOLO this now? I mean, fair enough. He's been YOLOing a lot of the drops. And he already YOLO'd into Ganon, so Oh, Sanctuary, right? They need Sanctuary this year, obviously. I mean, I forgot, but you know, I'm just sitting here watching. So we see that the old man is at. Oh, this would be fun if like flippers were here. That's a thing that I like, but
Ooh, well, okay. I mean, flippers could be here at the end of Spiral
they can.
Cave.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Because the old man is completely illogic. So.
Yeah, it's just I mean, and yeah, I think just based on like certain tendencies that we've seen, at least from Telthar, you kind of mentioned earlier, he does have a couple of probably holes. In this case, taking a bit more aggressive route. You know, probably less thorough than Zelda, but I mean, all the stuff that he has done so far he has been the first to probably like almost, if not all of the major things first. He was not first to the boots, granted that, but I think everything else after that was he was probably the first to sword, first to hammer, first to bow, first to lamp, shot, glove, you know, like the list, mirror, yeah, pretty much everything.
We're checking the back of the old man, and we find Spiral Cave. Okay. He already did like everything up here, so don't know what his plan is. Going back to the left side, maybe checking the Dark World caves. I don't think he did that before, because I mean he didn't have the mirror then, and he had just gotten the hook shot. So East Death Mountain seemed like a much better play. But now, you know, he has these little holes in his route. He's checking out.
Very interesting. So I think Zelda took the other, like the elder lady connector instead of rescuing the old man, and ended up here in the top of the castle when he was in Ice Rock Cave. Presumably he could just make this quickly, and then I mean, so we found C-shape out, or we'll just take the other connector. Oh no, the same connector. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just go right back. Yeah, so yeah, now I was being a little bit dumb because Telethar can also, after these Dark World caves, check Hera, and then go across the top and check the top of Paradox, and drop down and check some more. So, he has quite a few entrances to check up here. He's electing to take like 2 more mirror transitions so that he can dash, which I think is definitely a net positive here. Although the mountain could
I'm just kind of watching the the environmental hazards of Light World. Like there's probably a reason why people like to take Super Buddy sometimes, you know, like when they're climbing in like in a mountain entrance race going to GT. But you know, I certainly understand the ideal cases. Telthar, I mean, even so, I guess he's pretty confident as hell. He doesn't want to spend the extra like 3 seconds or whatever picking up the heart container.
I mean, fair enough, I guess. Okay, we're checking the connector here. That's interesting. Because you can't really get back through it. Okay.
Yeah, talk about not being able to get back through it. That is correct. But we've ended up in a different part of Dark World, and we've got the mirror. So we're gonna be able to. We're just gonna follow. This is what, our 10th connector in a row, or something like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of following connectors when you find them, but sometimes it can get like a little crazy. But you know, this could be something good. It could be. It could also. Well, we've already found the right side of desert, so you know that's not on the table anymore.
Do you think? Okay, so I know it's kind of probably early to try and figure out like what we end up needing. Oh, okay, that's swamp. That is kind of that's at least good knowledge to have. In this case, once you go find those flippers, I guess we also need swamp small, right? To be able to get in. You know, it could be vanilla.
Could be. That'd be kind of rude. But...
It'd be kind of terrible. I agree.
Okay, so Telthar's gonna get his way to the Mire area actually, and then he'll be able to get that big key on Desert Ledge. That's
cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Actually, so what other big keys could we?
Or
any predictions, or not?
There's like, I guess, a connector on both sides. And I missed that part of it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Or okay, he's gonna check the Mimic Cave here, and then go through that connector. Well, it could be a key for something we've seen already, like Beast Town. Like that, we have the small key, the hammer, like that'd be really
do have
nice.
a small key. Yeah, that's actually a great point. I don't think, it doesn't look like we have the map to any of the dungeons, or at least, sorry, not to Thieves Town. highly doubt that we're going to see a map check from either Zelda or Telethar, at least anytime soon. I'm not actually sure how common map checks even are in Crosskeys. You just kind of go to the dungeon and hope that, you have the map, and then,
Speaking of,
you know.
we do see that
Oh,
we have a
yeah, that's
crystal.
true. It is. Okay, so I guess we are gonna have to go find that lovely ice rod. Nobody has ever cursed that rod in the history of Rando. Looking for it at the very end.
Ooh, we see a blue mail at Vanilla Desert. That's nice.
That is actually kind of interesting. Okay, the fact that Telethar did not pick up the heart container on Spec Rock, but he also took the time to actually go pick. I mean, mail is probably more valuable.
Yeah, blue mail is super good.
I guess we also have Mirror too, so we're not actually in this case worried about death warping. I think he maybe didn't have it. That's certainly probably more so for Zelda. I do not see him picking up that.
So Telethar finding out that the other side of Hookshot Cave would have led him here. So he has an alternate route here, I guess is another way of putting it.
Yeah, in this case, despite the so we have not come out of the vanilla Mire entrance, right? But we can't check that anyway, just because
Correct.
we don't have a pearl. All right, big key 2.
Beast
Ooh, nice call. Yeah, nice call. Also, by the way, that's another first on Telethar's side.
Oh.
We're doing more first. We've got Mire. Do we have the big key? We do not have the big key, but we have a small key. Okay, so that we can get a bunch of stuff in here.
Yeah, pretty efficiently too with that small key. So we'll see 6 items. I mean, our Y items are doing pretty good. We're missing the ice rod, but otherwise, there's nothing else that we could get away with beating the seed without any of the other Y items. We obviously will need the flippers at some point.
Yes, but that is not a Y item, as you have stated. So that's more of that's more of an A item, I guess. I'm not even sure.
They call it an A item. It's in the A item spot on the menu, but I mean that's up for debate, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Considering you can swim with them, and then I guess you can press A, but I don't know,
Yeah. So realistically, we don't know what we need, but we probably don't need all that much more, which is something that happens in Crosskeys sometimes. You don't know what you need, but you're getting kind of close to go mode. You just don't even know.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of wondering, right? So we know Green Pendant Eastern for sure. But I don't know if we know any other pendants, right? Okay, so we know the Turtle Rock is a crystal. We actually don't even know if Thief Sound's a crystal or a pendant. I mean, but at this point, it is fully clearable, and I don't know, seems like a pretty viable. You can actually just beat the dungeon outright, right? So,
I mean, we need a couple keys. We need flippers. We need ice rod. But that's it, right? And the exact number of keys we need is unknown at this point. We definitely need the Swamp Small. On Telethar's side, we need him to get that Desert Big out of Highway Castle. But which other ones we need? Tough to say.
we may not need Pot Big. I guess maybe depending on what Mire is. We may not need Mire Big. Well, in order to beat Ice Palace, we said we don't need Ice Big. But it's still going to be another item potentially. But I don't think we've actually found Ice Palace yet either, right?
Yeah, that's when you get a lot of items early, that could also be what comes up in Crosskeys is entrance go mode. I don't think we've seen.
We have not found Hera either.
We have not found Hera. I don't think we found the back of Desert.
We have not found the back of Desert, correct?
I don't think we found the back of Skull Woods.
I think Telethar and Zelda found that very early.
Okay.
Because they got a heart container. Yeah, they got a heart container.
Right.
In the bridge chest.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I do agree. Life of Obscurity. We saw the Turtle Rock compass in the big chest. We saw the Mire compass in the map chest. Very convenient, by the way, when you're trying to count items, for yourself. We sometimes take these counters for granted, but sometimes, when you're rushing Vitreous and you see only 6 out of 8, you're not feeling very good all of a sudden, and then you might want to reconsider either going back or just completely, in this case, writing that location off.
Well, speaking of
talking about Ice Palace, are you okay? Zelda's going in.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously doesn't have the big key, but otherwise it's a pretty comfy Ice Palace. He's got a Master Sword, he's got the cane. you know, it's, I guess, I don't know what's in his bottle, but he will have to like manage his magic or his arts to make sure that he can break the shell. But other than that,
So,
it
but
shouldn't
so,
be too bad.
well, right. So Alex actually, I think, putting out like he does not have that glove from Laser Bridge.
Oh,
that,
right.
That Telethar
I
has.
completely missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, so he is making a little bit of a play here. Yeah, that's
That actually think what
unfortunate.
happened. Yeah, because he went all the way to Crystal Roller, and he got the mirror. I'm trying to think in this case, like, when, like, did Teller just keep going, basically, to do the conveyor room and then into Laser Bridge? And Zelda might have just left. Because otherwise, like, for sure he would have found, oh, jeez. Well,
I mean-
whether
Yeah, Bridge wasn't in logic, so maybe he's like, okay, I got the mirror, that's my logical, and I'm just gonna leave.
yeah, alright. Looks like, yeah, without the... Alright, so it looks like, yeah, maybe without the glove or without something else, Zelda wanted the small key from the Bari, and then he's gonna do the right side with Samaria, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a way you can get around the problem of, you know, alternative, I guess, my guess is that Zelda has timed it and this is faster, but like you could also just do the right side and then get locked out in mirror and then just do the left side. I don't know. That's probably slower, given that this is what Zelda has elected to do. But it would have like you get the same items.
Yeah, well, yeah. Also, by the way, so whether or not the East is a crystal pendant, it really doesn't matter because Telethar found the Moon Pearl in the attic chest. We now and he finds a small key to Ice Palace in the big chest. So he does not, in this case, I think, has to go and do whatever you know Zelda's doing here right here.
Well, he wouldn't have had to anyway because he has the glove.
Oh, true. That's true. Also correct.
Yeah, so this is just like working out really well for Telethar, and you know,
The
not
momentum's
so well
certainly
for Zelda.
yeah, the momentum on Telethar side is certainly as not stopped whatsoever. In fact, it has gone hot, not cold. Zelda, I mean, he's definitely going along, but like the fact that but Zelda, I think, does need probably something a bit more like extra. Like he needs to find something that's a first that is going to lead to something more major that Telethar does not, because right now, yeah, probably outside of the boots, you know, Telethar has basically gotten every single piece of like major progression first. Now, of course, that being said, like on the flip side, you know, like the fact that Telethar is so much open to him, you know, might give him a bit more of, let's say, like analysis paralysis or too many choices, versus maybe Zelda is going to get like funneled into stuff. But you know, like, and that it may be in fact maybe some like late game stuff. We're gonna have to see in this case.
It's
like, where's
very
that ice rock? You know?
that, yeah, it's very unfortunate that Zelda found ice without the glove. So Telethar did show us now that Thieves Town was a pendant. So lengthening the seed definitely works in Zelda's favor because he needs time to have something going in his favor at this point. But even that, you know, Zelda is going to full clear Thieves Town because he will get the Moon Pearl there, and nobody is going to stop clearing the dungeon.
Yeah, I totally
So,
agree. Especially in this
like,
case when you don't know everything.
Like, so Zelda will get that pendant. He will do all of that, but I guess it's the fact that they're going to need like another key probably, right? So even just one more key could be like one more thing that Zelda could find in one of his checks that Telethar doesn't. But yeah, like everything is working in Telethar's favor so far. He's coming up here to check Skull Woods. We see that Skull Woods is the last pendant. Okay, so now we have our knowledge. Zelda back in Portal Rock getting his glove. Probably not feeling the greatest since he just left Ice Palace.
Yeah, and I mean the fact that like I'm sure it was a conscious decision for him to leave after the year, which I think you mentioned, right? Like it's maybe non-logical, like, and also you just got the mirror right out of the Crystal Roller, which is gonna open up a bunch more stuff for you, right?
No,
but it turns out it was not enough. So
it's understandable, but it still doesn't make it hurt any less when you find it exactly. Like right after you leave Ice, like it's like, oh man.
We'll talk about another. Alright, we just got some free, you know, Turtle Rock keys, right, in order to be able to traverse all the way to Laser Bridge. Just sitting in Skull Woods, you know. Just, two of them, no less. You know, just sitting here in the front of Skull West. No big deal. I'm sure Zelda won't feel any worse when he finds his space to turn around. You are correct though. Like, I mean, whenever I'm sure at this point, Zelda and Teletar both use very, you know, we'll say accustomed, but you know, they're very familiar, you know, with the feeling of last location. But yeah, it probably doesn't ever feel, doesn't ever probably get that much better, regardless of how many times you kind of experienced it for yourself.
So we need Ice Rod, we need Flippers, we need Hero Location, we need Pod Big and Pod Location.
Ooh,
and Meyer
very, yeah, well, very interesting. So Zelda found myths here in the third chest of Hookshot Cave. So we
Wow.
don't yeah.
Imagine
so
if they actually succeeded in their hover.
Oh, well, yeah. Dude, imagine if one succeeded and one didn't, right? Like
Right.
that would be quite the. But suddenly, you know, so we don't. Okay, you did not. I understand. Like list off myths in like the list of things we need. However, like the things that we need could be buried behind one of the like myths.
I mentioned some locations, and locations could easily be myths locked. So yeah, the myths could definitely be required. Now Telethar probably will check Hookshot Cave like before a lot of other things that Zelda has done. But I guess, you know, Zelda does, or Telethar does have to do Front of Escape, and he's gotten a lot of items that takes him away from going back to Escape. So maybe it'll be a little bit before he gets there. You know, it's hard to say. There are 3 items there, so, you know, maybe he does have it, like, high on his mind, and he's going to mirror and do it, like, while he's doing Village of Outcasts. I couldn't tell you.
Well, he also has Dark Cross, right? So it'd be 4 items in the front.
True, that is true. Actually, they found the Hyrule Small Key, so... Oh, no, he got the back row, though, already, right? So, yeah, he does have 4 items. Yeah, we'll see. Zelda not doing his clear of the front of Meyer.
Yeah, so okay, what was in Meyer again? Something it was just the compass? We didn't find anything interesting.
I don't think there was anything good. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, coming in here
mail?
makes sense,
Yeah.
but yeah, we get red mail. Yeah, we get red mail.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. I mean, like you're talking about trying to go for density. Like you have full access where you got the hookshot and you got the boots. You've got the fire source. You know, in order to do left side Meyer. Even though I don't think we have all the keys necessary to put everything in logic. But I mean, again, right? Like 6 items here available for you. Not gonna probably get much better. And if you have in this case to find the Meyer big key inside the dungeon, like you can now finish it, right? So.
This is very true.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Alex. See, Alex is actually like, I'm not using Restreamer. Like, he is like master tracker, right? He's actually, I can't believe how attentive you are, Alex, at like 2 a.m. like your time. Like, I would be like half asleep at this point. I just struggling to keep my eyes open, and yet you still remember all these things are.
So Telethar does pick up his myths. Hookshot Cave is always going to be one of the most dense locations, so if you know where it is, you're going to go there. I do think this might be Hyrule Castle as well. I don't remember exactly where it was, but okay, he's getting this. Yeah, I mean, Hyrule Castle is here somewhere, so I'm guessing he's clearing up everything that's in Kakariko.
Yeah, and yeah, so like you mentioned before, so he's gonna be able to just basically kind of clean up or kind of retrace some of those Zelda's very, very early steps when Zelda ended up getting some of this access. So he did first chest of Castle Tower, probably gonna do Sick Kid, front of Hyrule Castle, but just like with the mirror, just so you know if offense is that much faster. But like just with the mirror alone is good, not have to worry too much about death warping.
Exactly. We're not doing Hyrule, or that's on the next screen, I think. So he will probably do left side of race game. I don't think we've seen that yet.
I believe you are correct. I guess we haven't seen Dig Game yet either, so maybe we'll ended up finishing the stuff.
Oh, you're right. We just got the pearl, right? You're right. Okay, we found the back of desert now.
Okay, so that's for sure required because we know that desert is a crystal. And Telethar knows that because he found, I think, the rest of the pendant knowledge.
Finishing Thieves Town and then going into Skullwoods gave him the rest of the knowledge.
Okay, so yeah, so if you were Telethar here, like, would you pick up the Smith? I guess maybe at the very end? Because we know who the Smith is, right?
Yeah, you'd probably pick him up on the way out, I would think. If you completely prioritize him or just, like, passively prioritize him, you know, that's your own option. But yeah, you probably pick him up on the way out of here.
Well, I mean, okay, like, is there anything, I guess, like, inefficient by picking him up after you kind of finished up everything? Like, he doesn't really get in the way, does he? Unless,
I mean,
unless you...
It takes a good 5 seconds to go get him. You have to lift up that rock and lift up another rock.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not free, but yeah, it's fine. You have to lift up that rock and then that rock. So yeah, it's close to 5 seconds. But okay, so we're gonna see the front of Escape here, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. And we're gonna have a buddy in order to, you know, storm the castle. Oh, we have sick kid, right? It's okay. Telethar brought in a doctor. He has got a beard, so, you know, everything checks out. That is exactly what I expect when I see a doctor. So, I mean, I know that, you know, like, when we talk about Crosskeys, some, like, the big ticket items that we would like, you know, so we got a lot of it. You know, we got a sword, we got boots, we got glove, we got hammer. You think the flute's gonna show up? Or we're gonna just basically, you know, be running everywhere?
Say no on the flute.
No on the flute?
Me. But we've already gotten to Meyer area, so so the thing that just occurred to me is that Telethar is now going to get the Desert Big Key and be able to go back to the portal and beat Desert.
Yeah.
So even the late Desert Big Key is going to work out better for him. Like, man.
That is actually a very no, that's actually a really good point. A really good observation. Didn't even think about that. I guess we technically don't have the Desert Small Key, so I mean, so it's not maybe technically in logic, but yeah, like, that's gonna be another crystal down for him, so...
He will have to pick up the Smith again, as Alex is saying, but, that's not that far out of the way, it'll be fine.
I'm pretty sure he's willing to spend the extra 5 seconds that will pick him up again, you know? Versus, like, the... Yeah, because I think, right, so, like, not having a flute, it's certainly gonna be... The overworld travel, right, is going to really kind of amplify in terms of effect. So, I mean, the fact that Telethar does not have to make a separate trip back into Kakariko is going to be, like, very nice for him. Especially over Zelda.
But Zelda is going to get his pearl here in a second, and, like, he's done a lot of these things that Telethar is doing right now, so he's definitely a little bit behind, but we still are looking for quite a few things. We need an ice rod, we need flippers, we need Meyer Big Key, and we need Hera Location, and Pod Big Key. So, I mean, we're still looking for some things, right? So, Zelda still has time.
For sure.
Telethar has a lead, but we're less than an hour into Crosskeys seed, right? Like, even the fastest ones, we still have time. So, I'm really interested to see what happens, like, because Telethar has definitely been a little bit more aggressive. Like, does he keep up that aggression? It does seem like he's clearing up his holes right now, the holes in his route. But, oh, this is interesting. He didn't go back to do Desert. Okay, never mind.
The Smith is pretty close by. I don't know if he necessarily just wants to run back.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess he'll have a second chance in order to... maybe he wants to pick up Purple Chest. Like, he will have a second chance, right? In order to kind of go back to that area.
Sure. Okay, we get another big key.
Alright, well, that's a very... Yeah.
No. Or maybe. I should say maybe.
Yes, that's true. It's just one additional item check. It does give us a logical access up to the tower. Are you disappointed in his performance of the Spec Rock Bonk, Alex? You should rate it. Don't be afraid. Be brutally honest on what you thought of it. Thank you.
So we find ourselves in the pod area with a friend. Where was the Smith at?
I thought it was the Light World.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's the Light World.
No, Light World Hype Cave. I thought that's where it was, but...
So we're probably not checking pod then. Which, you know, or maybe we will. Maybe we'll just say, you know what, we'll get the Smith again when we go do Desert. That looks like the decision we're making, so...
Yeah, I think it's also pretty reasonable. Oh, and Telethar took an early exit, remember, in Eastern Palace area before?
True.
So I don't think he's actually even been over here. Oh, the Smith is just right here. Right, okay, that makes sense.
I forgot about. Yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. We just see it very super early. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh,
vanilla
look at that.
tempered sword. Look
Yeah,
at
look at that super nice sword that Telethar just found. All right, well, we can now Omega play the game. And he's gonna be able to clean up his Eastern Palace Light World area checks as well.
Yeah, he was already able to mirror by Flute 5, but now he can check Eastern Palace and Pod together.
Happy
quite
accidents,
nice.
you know? 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't even think that Zelda, like, well, I mean, yeah, Zelda for sure checked it, but I mean, he was over here in Eastern without the boots, you know, walking stuff, and Telethar is just gonna be able to, like, even if you have to backtrack, potentially before, oh, what did we actually find here? Oh, Meyer. Okay, yeah, doesn't matter. Yeah. But I mean, even like, you know, the fact that Telethar had to come back for this, he was able to do it very efficiently.
So now Zelda knows where Swamp is.
Mm-hmm.
That's good on his side.
Alright, well, we are back in Ice Palace. I don't think Zelda has full crystal knowledge yet. He's certainly gonna get a crystal out of this thing. Man, am I surprised to see him here? Because he still doesn't have the Ice Palace big key, but maybe he feels like it's okay to come back here because he's kind of going for the rest of the dungeons items, I guess.
I mean, because he does have other things to do, obviously, and like you said, he doesn't have the big key yet. Like normally, I think. Oh, well, that's required.
Yeah, that is one. Yes, that is one required pod big key. Yes. Continue.
Yeah, so I think normally a lot of people, if they do an early dip in Ice Palace without the glove, they'll like give themselves at least a little bit of time to try to find the big key before they come back in to finish the dungeon. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing this. Like, obviously, you're taking a small risk, but you know, you also could find, you know, a really key piece of progression that speeds up your seed. So, you know, and you get a crystal regardless. I mean, he doesn't know he's gonna get a crystal, but he will get a crystal. So. Yeah.
That is definitely true. All right, was this desert? This was desert, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So Telethar is basically just kind of doing like a front to back to front loop, you know, of like the South Dark World stuff. Yeah. So he I mean, even confirmed that it is a crystal, you know, because we do have the map. And it's gonna be another item, at least for Telethar. So yeah, I mean, we have certainly seen the Telethar train has not stopped probably since, you know, maybe, I don't know, the 9 to 10 minute mark. I think at this point, he is making like a tremendous amount of progress. Basically, still continuing his trend, you know, his ticks of, you know, get like the first two, you know, blank thing that we need for in order to beat the game.
The crazy thing here is like they truly do not need that many more items to beat the game. But this is going to be the first crystal between both players. It's kind of funny.
It is actually pretty interesting. He's already pre-marked desert. I don't know, you know. Let's see in this case how his not correct bow landmost goes. I suppose it went about as well as it could have.
Yeah, it went quite well. Nothing important here, but it is a crystal, so.
Alright, so he had done a very nice job basically using sword beams to kind of duplicate some of the fire rod shots. You do have red mail, I believe, on Zelda's side. I assume that's what pink Dixie is.
Yeah, they both have red mail at this point.
Yeah, so I don't think he was necessarily worried.
So Telethar might be going to pick up the purple chest, I guess.
Yeah, that's what it kind of.
And hammer pegs. I think he was planning.
Actually, I think you're right.
With the purple chest. So.
Yeah, I think you were correct about that. Ooh, was that a map check on Zelda's side? That was so fast that I completely missed it. But I guess he didn't know in this case.
Yeah, he was only looking for Skullwoods and Meyer. So as long as you know what you're looking for, you can do it pretty quickly. The trick is finding time to mark them on your tracker.
That's why you play co-op, no?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Just say it out loud and hope your partner ends up picking it up, you know? You think the Smith would do that job for him?
Right.
And be a mentor?
Okay, so Telethar checking Super Bunny here.
Oh, I guess we haven't seen this yet, have we? Of all things?
Yeah, we have not. So we got 2 items and a connector location. Items, not so great, but like we haven't seen Floating Island, I don't think. We haven't seen Top of Bumper Cave. I don't
True.
think.
Yeah. We
So
have not been
okay,
able.
there we
We just
go.
see. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was gonna say. I also just find Bombos medallion up here, but and we now have a pearl and sword to be able to use it with in the Dark World.
And we found Hera now too.
All right,
Wow.
so that's extremely required, and he does look like has the pair of big key. So
He
he's
has
gonna at
the
least
right
reveal...
keys to find Hera. He has the big key, but no small key.
Oh,
It
very
is the
true.
correct keys.
I wonder where Zelda got that small key to Hera then, because definitely, yeah, Hera, like Telethar doesn't have it, and I'm trying to think of like the locations that Zelda has been to that Telethar hasn't.
I mean, if you're a Zelda fan, like I mean, who isn't a Zelda fan, by the way? But if you're a Zelda fan, that you're hoping that basement has something good, because
For
that
sure,
could
for
easily
sure.
be like the pivot point of the entire scene, very easily.
No, I agree. Just because, you know, we saw in this case you have to... This is the only way to get to Hera. Not, like, the most convenient thing. So if there is something here in Hera basement, you know, Telethar's probably not going to be super incentivized to go back here. And, like, especially rushing Hera basement of all places, you know. Thank you, Alex. Ice Palace
Yet again.
Resort. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so, like, I guess Telethar hasn't even been into Ice Palace, so that makes
Correct.
a lot of sense. Meanwhile, Zelda has been in there twice with no biggie. Oh man,
Also
very
correct,
different.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, there are those
Oh my
flippers.
gosh. Well, I think we might know where Telethar is gonna head to next, or at least maybe on the center side. There is a fully clearable swamp palace just waiting for us. We even have the big key. So
Yeah, that's a very clear play at this point. He has everything he needs. I mean, he even has Temper Sword and Silvers. Like, there's no reason to delay the Crystal Swamp Palace at this point. I mean, if he has entrances that are more convenient to check now, obviously you do them first. But otherwise, like, you end your route, you go to Swamp Palace.
I'm actually kind of wondering in this case if... Okay, I assume Zelda's gonna go get Temper Sword off of Smith. It certainly seemed pretty natural for him, for at least Telethar earlier, to go pick up the Smith, just kind of take him along, you know, on the route. That being said, though, like, if Zelda maybe feels like he maybe needs to, like, make a skip or, like, be a bit more aggressive, I can certainly see him maybe not wanting to take the Smith along with him.
I mean, it's possible for sure. I think most... Like, there's not, like you said before, though, there's not much cost in picking up the Smith. So maybe you just do it, like, not 100% sure you're going to turn it in, but you still make it there. Like, we saw the connectors Telethar went through, kind of got him anyway.
Yeah, alright.
So
Well, talking about... Yeah, that's true. So we have no Ice Rod, but certainly it very well could be that the Ice Rod is just sitting here in the front.
Yeah,
Would not surprise me
mean.
whatsoever. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Actually, okay. So I guess like Pyramid Crack is also an available location. I don't think we came out of it. I at least don't remember seeing that entrance being used quite yet. So that could be something.
That could definitely be FOD or just Item Cave that we need. Pod Location, Ice Rod, and Meyer Big. I believe that is what we are down to. As far as I think that's like on Telethar's side too. Like, I was gonna say no mode for us, but I think Telethar has everything else. So
yeah. Well, assuming in this case Zelda kind of continues on this route, like he's gonna pick up Pod Big on Stumpy. I mean, if he picks up the Smith, great, and then he'll eventually get his Temper Sword, which is, you know, certainly very happy to be able to go get. And then, right, so then in this case, Zelda still needs the flippers from Hera, and so long as he follows, I guess, the same set of connectors that Telethar did in order to get to Hera, should be a pretty natural route. But, you know, again, like, Telethar has continued to be the trailblazer, you know, of this race, and, you know, at some point, okay, granted, like, Meyer Big, Ice Rod, etc., like, these can, in fact, like, kind of, like, be the equalizers of the seed. But it's certainly, you know, if Telethar just continue this trend, at some point he is going to get all the items and then, like, finish the game.
This is true. Hera Basement is definitely the biggest out that Zelda has right now. But others could evolve as we go along here.
I see Zelda has chosen a very similar strategy to fight Lambos to Telethar.
He sure did.
It's okay. I understand that maybe they can't, you know, necessarily afford regular arrows. You know, I know it takes a lot of effort to switch over to them, you know, from silver, so I understand.
I mean, you know, hitting both of those buttons at the same time is it's a lot of stress on the pointer fingers. So you want
Well,
to save that for your quick swaps.
Well, I will. Okay, so I don't want to bring up any, certainly like bad memories, from Zelda. But there wasn't. Well, for what it was, he did win this race. But the last time he tried to switch over to the wooden arrows, I think during whatever one of like his last Megatational race up the top of GT, he accidentally switched over to the mirror and
I know where
used
this
it.
is going.
Yeah, and then he did not use the bow for the remainder of the climb in GT. So I can certainly understand if he didn't want to do it this time.
Quick swapping with the bow is like, I think I've told you before, but I have a different grip on the controller when I'm fighting Viddy. Like I just hold the controller in the weirdest way just so I have no chance of quick swapping to the mirror.
That's actually I think really smart, right? You don't give yourself enough rope in order to actually do anything bad, right? Then you can't do anything bad.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So Telethar did find Hype Cave, it looks like. Nothing very interesting. I think the best part was probably a heart container out of this in Waterfall Fairy.
I mean, this is interesting. We haven't seen the Source Domain at all. There are guaranteed items up here, but with the late flippers and really the late gloves too, there really wasn't any, and the late pearl as well. Was that a big key?
That's a great question.
I think
it looked important.
Key.
It looked important. It was not like a 20 rupees or like arrows or anything like that. So I'm gonna assume that if it is something important, then Teleth's gonna go pick it up.
It's definitely a bit late in like the the grand scheme of Crosskeys seeds to be going here at this point, but it's just because all the important items that would get us here were just buried. Now that's not that Telethar needed an out, but that is kind of like an out for Telethar here.
Yeah, that certainly. I mean, in the worst case, in the worst case for Zelda, it is going to be something very important like Fire Big or Ice Rod or something. In which case, I am not sure when Zelda is going to go back, because that will be the third time that he's going to go back to Ice Palace. Which we're already pretty unhappy with 2, let alone 3 might just be out of the question. But Telethar is gonna again, he's gonna be much more efficient. Even if there's nothing there, he never has to come back to Ice Palace.
Yeah, and Telethar is down to, he has 2 fully clearable crystal dungeons. I think he's just clearing up some entrances that he was at before, and then I expect that once he finishes what his route was, he's going to be doing those crystals.
I think that makes sense too. Well, I mean, like in that, so he has like Swamp ahead of him, right? But he still needs to go find Pod, and so if he maybe even stumbles upon Pod, like great. But also if he just happens to stumble upon some of the other items, maybe he can just. I mean, is it too optimistic to think that he could just go about Swamp? I don't know, but it's possible.
That might be a bit optimistic, but
I like to hope.
I do agree with the the assertion that finishing off your route when you still have entrances to find is the smart thing to do, for sure. Meanwhile, while we were looking at Telethar, Zelda did turn in the Smith. He got his Temper Sword. I mean, he's just like a little bit behind on this route, right? Like if Hera Basement has something good, or like he just like goes, he like zigs where Telethar zags, like he is still in this for sure.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. We have an ends. Well, we're gonna see what eventually Ice Palace Big Chest is gonna have on Telethar's side. But yeah, like Zelda is really actually just effectively like one flippers. That's on Hera, that's on Moldor and Boss, right? Away from kind of like being on equal footing with Telethar. Actually, I guess we have the whole Dark Death Mountain area as well, like the upper part. Have we seen that yet? I'm trying to remember, like, if we actually have Vanilla Turtle Rock location.
So there's that Pod Big Key. So yeah, like you said, just that Hera Big and the
Telethar do purple chests? I want to say no, but I also don't remember. Like, I can't, like, I don't want to commit to saying that he has not done purple chest. I just don't remember him doing it or not.
I thought we went to grab it, but maybe I'm wrong. like you look back and forth between the runners, you assume they're doing something, and then they do something different.
I
And then
know,
you look like a
exactly,
fool,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's also hard to keep track of, you know, two people. Especially like how fast these two guys are, right? Like sometimes, you know, I would say for maybe less experienced players, you know, like their movement is basically less crisp, right? Less polished, and so by the time you kind of like look away and look back again, they're probably in very similar areas still. No, these guys, they're very directed and they're very motivated to be fast. Right, this is Harabig, that's right, for Zelda. So he's gonna be a full quick Hera once he gets there, for better for worse. In this case, again, you mentioned before, if something is in Hera basement, that is going to be extremely beneficial for Zelda. Let's see, this is going to be detrimental, Zelda? Small key too? Yeah, okay, well, I think it's fine. Yeah, we have enough small keys probably at this point. Copium. Like, I mean, like, we haven't found pod yet. It's very possible. Maybe we... Is it too optimistic to think that we might be able to go mode pod?
No.
Depending on where it is?
That's definitely possible. Although we are kind of running out of good item locations, and we still have, what, 3 items? But we still could end up with the go mode pod. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or like 2 items. So... we need 2 items in the location, right?
Right. We found the Thief's Town compass and the purple chest. All right, so I 100% think it's worth it. However, maybe Zelda. So you know, okay. So obviously for how good Zelda is, we may not necessarily see eye to eye on certain Eastern Palace locations and their accessibility. But I still believe that every once in a while a good runner can still have invalid opinion. No, just kidding. All memes on his side. Sure, Zelda was maybe not necessarily that happy to see the purple chest was also nothing, because I think that was also probably one of the outs that Zelda had. That at least we know watching Telethar. I don't think that he has done it. But I could be wrong. Very interesting. Bombos, please. It's okay. I'm just gonna assume that Telethar has a setup for basically doing Bombos Holster.
I mean, I think it's just that that's like a consistent thing to do with the amount of matches.
Yeah.
So it's just like the easy button versus trying to use your sword beams to do the shots or whatever. Okay. Like technically it would have been faster, but like just do the consistent thing. Sometimes the consistent thing is faster, right?
Oh yeah. I wholeheartly agree, because I mean, like, so I know the Zelda ended up doing the Coaster fight on Master Sword. He did a very good job with the sword beams, but still, like. Telethar's version was still probably just a bit faster with Master Sword. Or Tempered Sword. Alright, is this gonna be... oh yeah, this is Swamp Palace. Right.
So, there is definitely a high probability that we'll see progression here. We get 10 items, and we are, somewhat running out of other good things to do.
So I think we have also not beaten Mothula. I guess maybe that's kind of slow, right? Because there's only just one item on the boss left.
And it's also not in logic quite yet. Assuming, I don't know if they skipped the small key that's in the dungeon. If they skipped it, then it is in logic now. But I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. I remember seeing both. Okay, I want to say that both of them. They went to Pinball Room. Okay. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So like going to a pendant boss is not in logic when you're only a couple items for go mode. Like obviously you might have to do it at some point, but I would wait till they were in logic personally, and I think these guys probably will too. Yeah,
I think that's very, very understandable. All right, I do see that Alex is looking for a potential, Pedge seed. I thought you wanted to go to bed, Alex. We don't necessarily need any more extra dungeons in our path, but I certainly understand the sense of it. Ooh, that is a...
Okay, that is a pendant big key.
That is a pendant palace big key. We have not found Eastern of all places.
Yeah,
so...
I mean, when we find it, that's 7 items, essentially.
Yeah,
if we find it.
That's right. If that is actually a great point. Okay, I'm trying to actually see in this case. How many GT small keys do we have? How tempting is the climb for you, Koek?
I mean, it's getting better and better. obviously on Telethar's side we full clear swamp here, but you know, the mini Helma room was in logic super early.
Oh yeah, that's true, because we only needed the big key and 0 small keys, correct? Yeah, we literally just need, well, and we needed a bow, which we got pretty early, yes.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, it's definitely weighing on my mind. I also must admit that I'm not sure which drop is up there. I tried to pay attention, but...
Yeah, was it Useless Fairy? We found Ganon, we found the well, we found... Oh, actually, maybe it was Uncle? Did we find Uncle? Oh, no, we did find Uncle, right? Yeah. Oh, we did not find Uncle? That's behind GT?
Okay, so if Uncle is behind GT, then it's looking kind of good.
Where did we find Pod, by the way?
Zelda has found Pod, which is looking a lot better than climbing GT, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now, he only has 3 smalls, so he will have to leave behind. Probably. He'll leave behind the 2 items in Hellway and Vanilla Big Key Chest.
Yeah, and right, we do know that there was 1 small key in Ice Palace Big Chest that Zelda, I mean, for all intents and purposes, you may as well be a 215, out of, seed instead of a 216 total collection. So, but that being said, though, like, depending on, there's still nothing precluding, from another small key just being inside Pod, because we've certainly seen many of that happen before in Crosskeys. And then Winter Chrissy would be, quite nice to him. But that being said, even because all the rest of the keys, he's capable of finishing this dungeon.
And chat bringing up basically another out for Zelda.
Right, that's exactly what you want to hear for Zelda is left side swamp can be an out for you. Zelda, I will say, like, even his previous Crosskeys, I mean, this is probably true for, like, the vast majority of people, is that, whenever it comes to left side swamp, you always just make the wrong decision. If you skip it, there's progression there. If you don't skip it, you just wasted, like 3 minutes of your life, going over there and back.
Sure. Absolutely.
So Zelda's actually, he didn't do any of the back so far, right? He's just going straight to Helmut.
Correct. He's, like, this is a pretty efficient route. I like it. You are technically only 2 items from go mode, so doing the route this way makes a ton of sense, I think. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of hopium that you'd get both on the way to the right side, but you could, and then you save yourself a lot of time. But he'll just have to walk back in and then just go straight to the back. It's, not a big deal.
Yeah, okay. That's actually probably true. And especially for entrance, like, it's not as painful, I guess, to get into Swamp House because you don't have to... Well, one, the dam always stays drained once you, once you find it, which is great, but also you don't have the mirror transitions and all that fun jazz.
Mm-hmm. So by doing Helma first, he is going to allow us that weren't paying attention to see where Pod is a little bit
Yes,
sooner.
I'm very much looking... Well, I assume he's gonna... Oh, no, he will come out of the entrance first, right? That is...
Yes.
He has to go back in.
So that would be nice.
You see the power of red mail? We don't actually care anymore about where we stand and position ourselves. We're just gonna ram ourselves into Hamasaur. Red mail, I think, is certainly... Oh, good. We have a shovel. That is another location that I guess... Oh, is it isolated at this point?
And kind of, but it's still a guaranteed item, so you can route it in at some point. Oh, now we found Eastern.
Oh, it's Telethar almost leaving, but it is a fully clearable pendant dungeon. Alright, well, let's see in this case if the power of Eastern Palace is going to play, at least in people's favor. I mean, so Zelda does have... Oh, no, once he goes in the swamp, he will have everything.
Right, so top of Super Bunny is Pod. So you had mentioned that the top of Dark Death Mountain you hadn't seen yet, and you were correct, because, yeah, here it is. And then we had Dark World Shopping Mall has Eastern. So this is interesting. We're still looking for 2 items. We have basically approximately equal number of items coming up on both sides in the respective dungeons. And Pod has the Mire Big.
Yeah. Alright, well that is certainly direction for Zelda as far as his next dungeon that he would like to go clear. It's going to be 2 more items in the back for him. certainly looks like the backup pod is required. And wait, hey, that's our third compass inside of the respective dungeons so far.
I mean, man, I don't. We obviously do not know where the ice rod is, but if somehow Zelda could find the ice rod before he finds the flippers.
Oh,
like,
dude, that would be amazing actually, because that's it, right? Because you found pod,
Yeah.
and then he could just go mode swamp. That's a very unfriendly arrow is sitting in the pod big chest.
That would certainly like even things up quite a
Mhm.
lot, or even give Zelda the lead.
I don't know how much hopium that statement is filled, but you know, again, this is in this case where we see that it looks like it's coming down to an ice rod hunt between Zelda and Telethar. I mean, certainly, you know, like Zelda still needs the flippers, Telethar still needs the Mire Big. I mean, because we know what we know what those items are, but I mean, yeah, ultimately, it still looks like it'd be an ice rod hunt.
Oh, we have just gotten a raid from Dunka in the ladder.
Go Dunka. You're, by the way, yes, shoutouts to Dunka. He is the creator of the best known name of competition, the Megatational. Your Skull Woods also has been paid out quite handsomely today, putting 2 Turtle Rock small keys in order to go all the way to Laser Bridge from the TR Big Chest location. We got mirror and we got a glove. So.
Very true. Oh, we find. Oh man, this could easily be Ice Rod. Oh man, could you imagine?
I mean, do I have to imagine? I just watch in real time. But I mean, like, so Telethar I think hasn't found any, like, I haven't seen anything so. Oh good. We have a mushroom. So we have a shovel and we have a mushroom.
Yeah, we have some fetch quests on Zelda's side. Telethar has found nothing in Eastern so far. There are 2 items behind Armos. You know, it's not that hard to get back to Saha, but yeah, it'd be easier if we had a flute.
Oh yeah,
you know.
yeah. I believe that you had predicted that we would not be seeing a flute today because we already went over to the Mire area, which is certainly, you know, can still be buried quite far. Not sure what this ice silver's fight is. Eastern was
Another pod key. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. Well, so this could be delayed value from Eastern, right? We have the green pendant. We did see that Zelda leave 2 chests behind in pod, right? The big
Telethar, yeah, Telethar can get all of the chests in pod whenever he finds it. So that is interesting. Zelda right now, his like next step kind of is to find Hera, but if he could somehow find a way to find the ice rod before finding Hera, that would be just great for him. Or the ice rod is in Hera basement. That could also work pretty well.
or left side swamp, right? So.
Or left side swamp, true.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, so I guess. How aggressive do you think skipping left side swamp is right now for? I mean, well, when Telethar did this, like it was 2 items plus 1 entrance, right? For Telethar, but I think maybe we have all the accessibility stuff, right?
That's the tricky thing with Telethar. Like, he knows that he probably has access to pod, and pod has a ton of items. So,
I see.
While there is a lot of risk in skipping left side swamp, like there's also a lot of risk in doing it when you have a crystal dungeon that has like a dozen items just waiting for you.
Right. That's actually a really good point. Yeah, because in this case, like your item check to time unit ratio, right? Left side swamp is what, like 90 seconds or something like that? It's like a minute and a half. Yeah, but then like in this case, if you can just stumble your way into pod, that is, yeah, you mentioned like literally like 1 dozen checks, right? We saw on Zelda's side. Teleth's gonna get 14, and that is significantly higher in terms of your return rate. And yeah, finding 2 items in 2 locations is much worse than trying to find 2 items in 14 locations.
Yeah. So Zelda is 1 item from go mode, or 2. No, he's 2 as well. So he was he went for the 2 items first. I guess like in the very you know, potentially possible situation that they were both there in the roller room, like that would have been much more efficient. So it makes a lot of sense, but you know, unfortunately, that was certainly not the case. Telethar finding the mini modem cave here. He'll get his mushroom. Not, I guess the butter sword, right?
That was in pod.
Oh, that was in pod.
Top.
Yeah, you're right. So it's just a mushroom here.
Yeah, but he's just in slightly reverse order than Zelga, because Zelga found Pod first and then he found Mini Moldorm versus Telethar
Yeah.
came
Oh,
up
we
here.
can have
And...
magic.
Oh right, yeah, that was something. I see. I
That-
think at this point though, they probably don't care.
So Zelga doing the
real nice
bomb
turn jump.
there.
Yeah. That's right, because he still doesn't have flippers. Flippers are on Moldorm, in Hera, which is the Light World Bumper Cave location, and we took I don't remember which connector.
Super Bunny, I believe.
Super Bunny, right?
I'm sure that's on his mind to go do Super Bunny. I'm pretty sure
He definitely did found it, correct? Yeah, in fact he found it and then he left because I think he had other things to do. But I think this one, this actually okay. This potentially actually incentivized Zelga to come over here. Or I forgot that he just literally picked up a mushroom. So he probably in this case wants to do a potion shop. He is gonna give some amount of time back, I think, to Telethar if he continues this route, which I think is very reasonable, right? We haven't been to Zora yet. We haven't done any of those water checks, and we haven't done Catfish, etc. So it's very, very efficient for him to finish this.
Yeah, for sure. Telethar is giving us the first of 2 checks that we haven't seen yet. Okay, just a small key to GT.
Oh, these GT keys are suddenly piling up here. I don't know. How many more GT keys do you need to start climbing?
I mean, on Telethar, I almost suspect as soon as he's finished here, he'll go climb GT.
I guess finish Meyer, right? He's gonna find Meyer, yeah.
Yeah, he'll get the Meyer big key, he'll finish Meyer, but if he doesn't find the Ice Ride in Meyer, like, God, I have to imagine he'd climb GT at that point. I think most of the things he has left are just like sparse along the world. Like he could do some fetch quests, like he has that mushroom, and he'll find the shovel in here. He could do those things. You know, do you do those versus? We're having trouble with our Ancilla flipper, I think. But there we go.
Yeah, real nice.
2 bombs left. No problem.
Yeah, that's right. So Zelga, he has certainly demonstrated that he can he get the Ice Palace big key off of the ledge? Asking for a friend.
So I don't think he can with what he's down to 1 bomb. I wouldn't know how to do it. I'll tell you that much. Is there, like, if you had the Ice Rod, there would be ways that I know of? I just don't know what he currently has. Maybe with the red boomerang.
Oh, right. That's true. We do have some extra sparkles. Okay, it is a big key. Maybe he won't feel as bad because the only other big key out there besides the Ice Palace one is... I guess he doesn't know about Eastern. He does not know about Skullwoods. Is he gonna try and maybe do this? Like, I think... Didn't he want to go to Zora? Is this resetting Ancilla maybe? I guess I'm not sure what Zelga's trying to do. But it's certainly...
Oh, there were bombs here. Okay.
Oh my god, dude. This guy.
The problem though is now he doesn't have the water wall.
It's okay. We saw him in Scylla. He can swim over. It's fine. But I mean, like, holy frick! Like, I did not expect. I totally forgot about the fact that there were bombs and catfish.
So Telethar finishing up Helma getting his shovel. Yeah, I'm not sure what he's gonna do next. Let's see 7 here.
Right, so he'll do Meyer. He'll get his next crystal.
Oh, right.
I guess there's
He didn't do the back yet. It's hard.
Oh, right.
He does the thing that I do a lot, which is like I know I'm gonna do this, and I'm marking the tracker now, so I'm just gonna mark it all off, and then we'll get it done. So he still has to do the back. He'll get his Meyer big key back here. Okay, nicely done by Zelga. Gonna get that big key, and then he's gonna be like, I went through a lot of effort for something I don't really want, but.
No, it is just piling on. Yeah, again, like we don't want to go back to third trip into Ice Palace. Yes, it will be Zelga's 3rd trip in order to get the.
Yeah, he's never gonna go there. Like we know it's not required, so he's just not gonna be there. Like
we actually gonna get one more check as well from Telethar in the back, right? We're gonna see Harmless Hellway.
We get Harmless Hellway too. That's certainly a little bit of stress there. If you're a Zelda fan in particular. Okay, we're seeing some desert. This is new.
Yeah, that's true. We did get the Desert Palace small key. I remember seeing it, and I don't quite remember where we got it, but I certainly do remember that. Well, it's almost on Zelda's key counter, which is a location that Telter has not done. All right, so Breast of Pod is not useful for, at least in terms of progression. Shooter and Pod, thanks, Tam. Alright, let's see this case of desert right side. Tam.
The guy
gosh,
stays up, and you call him Tam.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
I read
Tam's a good guy too.
And then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And then I saw like Tam's emo, before, and then I read. All right, look, it's late, okay? All right, it's like 8:30 on the East Coast, okay? Some of us are.
I mean, it's like bedtime. I hear you. Okay, Zelda finishing Meyer makes a ton of sense. Telethar will join him here momentarily, I assume.
Yeah, but I mean, so Zelda still needs to find Hera, and get the flippers, but I think at this point, he is probably like 2 dungeons at this point. I mean, behind Telethar.
Yeah, it's not a great spot to be in for sure. He really just needs to find the ice ride in a place that Telethar skipped. Like, there are some edge cases that would work out, but mostly we're looking for a Hera basement ice ride or a left side swamp ice ride. Otherwise, it's not looking hot. And now Telethar does have that Hera small key, so not that he's going to rush back to go all the way to Super Bunny Cave to check Hera basement, but it's at least on the table for him now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, given the fact that Zelda still has not done Hera and Swamp, like, I kind of think that the amount of stuff that Telethar has left, though, like, he is going to be able, like, wherever this ice rod is, like, he is, I think, within range to find it.
Like, so even if the ice rod is in one of the beneficial locations for Zelda, he is still on a timer. Like that, like
for sure.
Like, because Telethar could get back there, faster than you would think, for sure. I mean, Telethar has also done all of Pen and Eastern. I don't think did we see Saha yet? I don't think we did.
We have not turned in the green pendant. That is correct. Yes.
So
Zelda.
He
wants to do spooky.
He was trying.
I'm trying to remember if I guess I didn't see the first part of Meyer. If he like threw a block in the void, or he still had spooky or whatever, or maybe he just missed the anti-fairies. Not sure.
Yeah, and he only had 2 bombs, so he didn't want to waste the second one on trying to get bomb spooky,
It's understandable.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how successful he has been in his bomb spooky endeavor. Is that our, like, I think that's the last set of our GT small keys, right? We have all 4 of them on Telethar's side.
So. Okay.
Oh well, talking about more bombs, we have found bombs. Exactly when we necessarily need them.
So this ice rod hunt, upper GT is looking pretty darn good right now.
Yeah.
But the Hera basement and left side swamp are still very much on the table.
Yeah, and for Zelda, like, these are still things that he will eventually come across. And these are locations that Telethar is going to have to consciously go back to.
Yeah, so we'll see where Zelda is going now. It's hard to guess. He might be making his way to Super Bunny. You never know. That is in the Dark World.
We're actually going to see in this case. I mean, while it is still like 1:37, which is not, considered late or anything for a Crosskeys scene, but like the fact that we don't have Flu, we may not see Flute, as you have predicted basically throughout the entirety of the scene. It is really, I think, taking some toll here on overworld travel. Just because we kind of see, like, while yes, we have connectors, we have starting point locations that maybe can make things a bit easier. But you see basically all the running. Thank God for early boots, and yeah, so Zelda's gonna finally find Hera. He may not. I mean, I'm not sure. Okay, Zelda probably never feels good, as with most runners, about their progression for any rando seed. But at least, like, for his some of the more pivotal decisions, like he saw Super Bunny earlier, he decided to not follow this connector and tried to go do other things. When he was in Turtle Rock and did Crystal Roller, he found the mirror and then left, right? Did not go to Laser Bridge with, and these were decisions that did not end up working out for him.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm curious about here is, does he do the basement first? Because if he doesn't, there's a chance he doesn't do the basement either. A chance. Like, obviously he has no idea that it's one of his best outs, right? Like, clearly you can't know that.
Yeah. And considering, well, man, did he? Yeah, because especially like the early game was so unexpectedly divisive. Because Zelda probably did what in his mind is like the normal thing. You go Houlihan at the Sank start. You go buy your bombs. You find Hyrule Castle. You're able to just clear out the front of Escape pretty easily. And, Telethar did not have that ability, so he may not even think that the Desert Palace, the Harris Mulkey, he might think that in this case, oh, Telthar's already been here. Maybe it's actually something I can skip, right? It turns out it was definitely not something that Telethar had.
So the problem here is, now that he's doing Moldorm first, I somewhat suspect that he's going to take his slippers and run, which is a very understandable play. He still has left side swamp on his side.
Great.
But
that's exactly what you want to hear for Zelda.
the basement, what was one of his potential outs. I was hoping, because he still had 2 items, like he might do it, but now that he only has 1 and all of swamp ahead of him, I fully expect him to leave here, and it's very understandable. Maybe the right call.
I mean, the right call is always the thing that it saves you time. I mean, so now we're kind of on equal parity for Hera basement. And I mean, also could be a sign that he just might think that, he is, in this case, behind. Which, I mean, like, looking at his Zelda screen and Telethar screen, that is certainly, he is certainly behind in terms of crystal progression.
Yeah, I mean, there have definitely been things in this seed that might give him that impression. Like, the biggest one is when he dipped Ice Palace and then immediately found the gloves afterwards. That is a time loss that is probably really apparent in your mind. Like, it happens so quickly, one after another.
We had 2 trips into Ice Palace, right?
Like, sometimes your time losses in something like Crosskeys, like, they're not always quite as obvious, but that one, it's kind of hard to get away from. We do see Telethar picking up his 3rd pendant.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing some potential Pedge sentiments in chat as well. I don't think Telethar is that close to the pedestal right now, but I'm sure that he can certainly run there and be pretty close.
Yeah, close. Maybe 1 pit stop beforehand. Okay. Okay. So he's gonna check the map chest. I would be kind of shocked if he climbed before checking pedestal. I mean, it's an option, I suppose.
He specifically killed Mothula before this. I mean, man, how... We have no flute! Like, how... I mean, it doesn't really seem all that great to have to run all the way to pedestal and run all the way back. That is not worth it, because it's just Quake.
I guess we're climbing and coming back for pedestal if we don't find it. I mean, that's fine. It makes sense, I guess, in a way. Okay. So, no surprise, Zelda is not going for left side immediately.
Yeah,
the real question is, does he go back in?
Does he go back? Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very excellent point. I mean, but I think with Specky clip introduced, like, I don't think I've seen people go to left side immediately. Just because you can basically skip the trench 1 key. You can always come back and pick it up later.
You do have to wait for the bomb to explode again and everything, but I think
true, yeah.
It's like nothing.
Yeah. All right, but meanwhile though, so Telethar is he's starting his climb. So there are 4 items here in GT. Thank you, very helpful compass. We're gonna get all 27 out of 27 up here. And I think according it's what, Uncle?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have 2 more items basically after Agatu. That's 6 items total, which is pretty good. I mean, you know, just in terms of like actual coverage, right? Like Telethar has done, like he has been extremely efficient. Also, like being the first to like, you know, pretty much literally everything except the boots. It certainly, you know, is very, you know, facilitated that endeavor for him. Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, what are we actually all looking for? We are looking for that very elusive ice rod. You may be surprised at this development and in a randomizer race, but yes, that is in fact what everybody is looking for.
So, I mean, we are right now at crystal parity. Now, Telethar has realistically like a ton more locations checked than Zelda. But right now, if Zelda goes back in, okay.
Oh, all right, okay. So this is gonna be new stuff. You know, we are still looking for that ice rod, and here we go. You know, we're gonna see 6 new checks on Telethar side. We are gonna see 2 new checks on Zelda side, and everything that Telethar has done so far, right? We had not seen where that ice rod has been.
Yeah, I mean, given the number of checks that Telethar was ahead, like having 2 checks available right now that could give you the game, like that's like a great position for Zelda to be in.
Yeah. Now that being said, though, they both skip Hera Basement, and the chances of Telethar actually going back to Hera Basement actually is now higher, in my opinion, than Zelda, because Zelda, as you said, like he has not done a lot of the stuff that Telethar has already done, right? He hasn't, you know, he's done Eastern Palace, for example, fully clearable pendant dungeon, but it's 7 items, right? You know, there's 6 items inside Eastern, plus the green pendant turn-in, so like that's probably way more appealing for Zelda than to literally go back to a extremely difficult Hera to get back to just for a basement, you know, tile room for an additional check.
And we're down to 2 items on each side now. The items in GT, nothing on Telethar's side. Yeah,
this is so tense. This is so tense. All right, and keep in mind, by the way, so because this is the Megatational, the time difference between these 2 runners will actually potentially play a difference because they actually, so Dunka for tiebreakers will actually decide based on the difference of finish times between Zelda and Telethar. If either of them forfeits, it is considered to be a 1 hour time difference by default. That is the big key to Skull Woods.
Find our answer quite immediately here.
Yeah.
So we do have Skull Woods Big Chest now. Have we seen Big Spot?
Yes, Telethar did that. It was 20
Telethar
rupees.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if you're Zelda, are you just chasing the Skull Big Chest right now? Oh my god.
Well,
this makes sense. Like this totally makes sense. It's just like, oh man. He's here. He's right. He's literally right here. We just know that in this case that it is not. You know, it is.
Like I understand. It's just it's pain. It's just pain. And there's the ice rod.
That is
okay.
All right. So required hunt is. Required Ganon climb. It is, well, it's certainly Telethar's last location. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Telethar's found it, so this is going to be put him in go mode, so he's going to be able to finish Shrine X and the Seed. I have no idea what Zelda's going to do at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he has the entrances that the flippers opened up, which is where he would find Eastern Palace, but he also has a GT climb. Like, he could theoretically do that next if he wanted to. Like he could do like Skullwood's Big Chest into GT climb or something like that. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
it's definitely hard to say.
I certainly wouldn't imagine him chasing the Skull Big Chest before making climb, just because, you know, you spend all the time left side swamp. That is your investment. You gotta feel for Zelda though. I mean, like, so he has not played the seed. It's like he's played the seed well. It's just like some of the decisions just has naturally constructed some like very strong inefficiencies in this route, right? And then the fact that he, you know, unfortunately, like, he's right there at Ice Palace. You know, he has the big key. The fact that he's going in for the 3rd time, right? Never ever feels good.
And it looks like he might be following the flippers here. We'll see. But it does seem like he's heading that direction, so he will find Eastern if he goes. Oh, he'll do Hobo first, I guess, and then probably find Eastern. So, yeah, it will be a little while before he gets to that GT climb. But yeah, Telethar is just a couple minutes away from finishing, really. He has his Trinex fight and then a Ganon fight.
Yeah, I think I need Dunka here to help, at least me, like figure out what these like tiebreakers potentially thing is, because like okay, looking at the previous results for Zelda, so Zelda beat Skelly by like a minute and a half, it looks like, and then Warpjack took a forfeit against Zelda, so like I'm not sure what the time differential is, you know, if this continues. Like, yeah, as you said, Telethor's gonna finish probably within, you know, the next couple of minutes, and we have no idea when Zelda's gonna be able to find this Ice Rod. So, and I don't know if it's gonna be enough, like, I don't know if he's gonna be incentivized, basically, just to say forfeit. I guess we'll see. Let's see what Zelda ends up doing. But that being said, though, in assuming Zelda does not take an hour like dot forfeit loss versus Telethar, like I don't know what that basically implies in this case for like Telethar and Zelda and Skelly's advancements. Zelda. Oh man! All right, Zelda is okay. He's just gonna check the rest of the stuff because Eastern Palace is certainly a very big time commitment, and he has all of the stuff, you know, that makes Eastern Palace dippable, with the exception that Eastern Palace, of course, is not a crystal.
And there really wasn't any. I mean, obviously, you can see from the inventories, they have everything useful except for the Ice Rod.
Yeah. You can even argue the Ice Rod is not useful. It's just like a cursed item, you know, and it just happens to be, in this case, it's required.
I guess we got a Sandcart, which, great.
Great.
Telethar already here on phase 3. He has the silvers. You know, this is a quick thing right now.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like when he so I think just my prediction for how Telethar was how he was feeling about the race. So the first like 10 minutes, he was feeling like completely awful. So many things basically went wrong for him.
Okay.
And very unlucky. We're also doing.
Oh, we have one arrow.
Yeah.
So we have to do one more spin and then turn arrow. Oh,
we're just tanking. We're just tanking it. Yep, we're just tanking it. But yeah, that's it for Zelda. GG's. Get your GG's out in chat for our victor today. I mean, like, yeah, I think throughout, like, basically that's from the 10-minute mark to, like, pretty much, like, the end game, or maybe, like, mid to the end game, I'm sure he was feeling phenomenal, because so many good, you know, things were going his way. And then, you know, he spent, like, 30 minutes or something like that, or 45, basically trying to chase 2 items. And I think he is very happy, probably in order to get a very solid victory over Zelda.
And in the race room, I can tell you that Zelda does have the room up. He's given GG's to Telethar, so there is a huge forfeit penalty in the tiebreakers. So Zelda is definitely demonstrating that he is continuing on here. So we should expect him to continue all the way to the end, I would think, at this point.
Yeah, so, right, because I'm trying to think, Warpjig did forfeit against Zelda, so that actually might help Zelda's tiebreaker, and so maybe he doesn't want to create a forfeit for himself. Oh, that being said, though, we are joined by Telethar. Yo, GG's?
GG.
GG.
Hey, you found the Ice Rod.
I did find the Ice Rod. I don't feel like I've had much left when I found it, but...
No, I think you had like Hera Basement and Left Side Swamp, and not too much else.
Hera Basement, Left Side Swamp, and Mushroom, and then Ped, but Ped wasn't yet in Logic. But I could have pulled it. It was just missing a Skull Key. That seed was non-stop action, it felt like. That was crazy, for at least on my end. I don't know what happened for Zelda.
Were you tilted at all in the first, let's say, 9 minutes of the game?
I wasn't too bad. I died and then I got my boots a little earlier because of it. I definitely made some mistakes in the early game. They didn't really cost me.
Yeah, I mean, basically, like, so you were maybe a couple, like, minutes maybe behind Zelda to the boots. But then I think you were, like, every single other thing you were ahead. You got well, you had a sword early, then you got was a hammer in GT and like Samaria and glove on laser. Oh yeah, that was one of the things. So you took your Turtle key past Crystal Roller, past the mirror, and got your glove on Laser Bridge. So that was something
Oh,
that was very,
did Zelda
very good.
bail?
Zelda bailed, and he mirrored after Crystal Roller. Do you care to guess how many times Zelda went into Ice Palace? Hint: it is more than one.
That's unfortunate.
Yes, you were able to get everything in one trip. Zelda unfortunately was not. So
Was he missing hammer?
he was missing glove. That was on Laser Bridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then the big key. But yeah, so 193 collection rate and 150. That's pretty. That's an interesting seed.
That was that's a lot.
This seed was insane for me. Like nothing really burned me ever, and everything was like early mirror-ish, early boots, early glove-ish, early hammer, early hookshot. Like it was just that seed was so. I just never caught my breath. It felt like.
Yeah,
Good,
I mean,
except for I couldn't catch my breath.
you did. It really looked like you did everything right. Like every single decision point that you made, like every skip you made, also like worked out. And then the skips that you did, well, sorry, the ones that you delayed, you went back to, you still did very efficiently, right? So, oh yeah. So there's another thing from your early game. You did not have any bombs, I think, right? Because you didn't hula hand. So
Yeah.
Zelda did Hyrule Castle early, got the Desert Palace key.
Okay.
And then, but then you did it much later, but that didn't hurt you either, right? Like you still found desert, like, and you beat it basically first time, and then what was in the Harris Small King also didn't cost, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I did like desert very slightly after my first time because I had Smith and I was like, I'll turn him in instead, and then I got Tempered Sword as a reward.
Yeah. I mean, so many things went your way, which I mean, you certainly played this extremely well as well. I mean, but like there were like the momentum that you built up for yourself just like didn't ever stop. So.
Yeah. That is how it felt. It just nonstop. I never found flute either. It's just ridiculous in itself.
Yeah, we also have not seen Zelda site either. We have. I mean, where else could it be? Don't think it's Mushroom.
So the pedestal was book, so it could be on the tablet somewhere.
Okay. I see.
Of course it was.
Oh, could have been Hera Basement as well. Yeah, okay, that was something that you could not do. Zelda had the option of doing Heloft. So.
Yeah, that was definitely one of his outs, and Left Side Swamp was one of his outs, but they didn't pan out. So.
Yeah, in my mind, Left Side Swamp sucked because it was locked by 3 GT small keys, and I was just like, screw that. Interestingly, it was 3 and not 4 this seed.
Yeah, so Zelda had already done ice and he had already done pod, so he had, a lot different things left and a lot different logic considerations too. So he did do Left Side Swamp, but obviously there's a skull big key over there. But
that could be a clue.
That certainly could be.
Yeah, certainly a very exciting finish. Well, actually, like, were you feeling? I mean, how were you feeling? I guess towards the end, because I think like after all of the action stop, you were basically looking for, well, Ice Rod, and then also I think Mire Big or something like that for like I don't know, 30 minutes. I think that's what Alex said, 30 some minutes, basically for 2 items.
Something like that.
Were you worried at all?
I mean, I was definitely not unworried. Like, it's an Ice Rod hunt against an amazing player, so like. You can't just be like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna win this. Like, I found the items in the correct order, but they weren't exactly in awful places. They just could be. Right, like my hammer was in GT, my hookshot was just on the mountain. Everything was sort of in front of you if you chose the correct order. So like, I was not expecting to be way ahead.
Yeah, I mean, still, like, it's a great result. Do you know anything about advancement potential? All I saw, Duncan said that it was, like, Zelda advances if he beats you tonight, and then you advance...
So,
You win. You
Basically-
advance if you win over Skelly. Okay. Yes.
Basically,
I'm
at this point, I think I'm guaranteed to advance unless I really lose to Skelly. So, yeah. If Skelly beats me, we're all 2-1, and then it's just lost time. Skelly has the... assuming Skelly wins, he has the best lost time, probably. He has like a 1.5 minute loss. So, like, he was fighting Ganon when Zelda finished their 80 keys.
Okay.
So if Skelly beats me, then he advances, and probably I advance, because I would probably lose by less than Zelga's losing, but unclear. I don't know, it's a mystery seed, who knows how those go.
Oh, that's right. I think it was Ari maybe, mentioned like one of these seeds is not like the other. It was like Crosskeys, 80 keys, something something, and then mystery. It's like, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. On the other hand, if Skelly beats me, then it's just gonna come down to time. Or sorry, if I beat Skelly, then Zelga advances, because we'll both be... I'll be 3-0, he'll be 2-1, and Skelly will be 1-2.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay. Alright, well, so it sounds like the last race...
Zelga's-
Well, you're also the last race of your group, right?
Yeah, Zelga's hoping for me to win, or me to get crushed.
I see.
Those are his...
I guess there's no middle ground, huh?
No. I either need to win by any amount, or absolutely get demolished. So...
And that race is it tomorrow night? No, tomorrow. When is it scheduled?
Sunday. Sunday at 8 Eastern.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I don't even know what I'm supposed to say at this point. Like, am I supposed to say good luck? Am I supposed to say like terrible luck? Because it sounds like you need either one or the other, right?
Well, Zelda needs one or the other. I need.
Well,
good
you're going
luck.
to advance, right? Yeah, true. All right, thanks, Alex. Yeah, I also want to say thank you again. So when you guys started this race, it was 1 a.m. for him, and he's like, oh, don't worry, these guys are fast. They'll finish by 3:30 tops, which is true. So thank you for finishing so quickly. Thank you so much for restreaming this, Alex. Yeah, Zozoka's almost
Should
done.
find that ice
yeah.
rod, and he's on Trinix already, so...
Anything you would have done differently, out of curiosity, Telethar, on the scene?
Like in retrospect.
Yeah, well, right. So I mean, well, like, so it certainly did look like you were maybe a bit more aggressive, at least, in the early routes. Like you guys both started Sank. I don't know how how much you do Houlihan at that point when that's the starting point. You ended up probably chasing more connectors. I don't know how aggressive you normally are. But I'm certainly whatever decisions you ended up making, right? Certainly worked out. In terms of ordering, I think Zelga did more cleanup. Cause he did Sick Kid and all the other Kakariko stuff before kind of leaving the area, and I think he went back to it much later, right after you've explored a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, in my mind, or the way I was looking at the seed, it's just I felt like I constantly had enough good things that I didn't need to worry about doing any of the awkward cleanup until it was this is the best time for it. And it's just it just kept on giving enough that I never really felt bad about doing. Oh god, I gotta go back to clean up Sick Kid and I'll get Hyrule Castle and Sick Kid when I get around to it. Basically, the seed just kept sending me places that were good.
Yeah. Well, you consciously went over to the Ice Rock Cave area, right? And then you rescued an old man. You found that without a glove, right?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
I don't believe in delaying that. I think people are over scared of running over to that screen. It so often has something I need. So.
I mean, you certainly proved that today. Rescuing old man, got you up the mountain, and then that was that where I forgot where there was something important over there. Just more stuff, just added to your tallies of you were the first to blank item. All right, well, that's it. GG's for Zelda. That is looked like a 12-ish minute difference. Looks like. Still,
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
little
like,
less.
yeah. Alright, let's see in this case if we can maybe, you know, talk to him. See how he felt about this race. Yo, Zelda? How's it going? GG's?
GG's.
Yeah, GG.
Sorry about Ice Palace. Sorry about the Ice Rod.
Yeah. There was just a lot that did not go right here. Like, I was really happy getting the hammer, but there was no world I was climbing GT anytime soon, really, whenever the GT big was also right there. So there's not much I can do about that one, really. All the keys were terrible locations. I never really had a good reason to climb until the very end.
I mean, that was also your, like, last set of checks, right, Talthar? I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, because that was when you saved going to be Tridex, but...
Yeah, I just had, like, everything fall into place, so I could basically be ultra efficient throughout the entire seed, it felt like. Like, it was just a non-stop, couldn't catch my breath situation for me, so, like, I didn't do GT early, but I don't know, everything was just super awesome, convenient.
Yeah, I could see how that happens for sure.
Like, the only thing I realistically skipped was left side swamp when I had, like, one GT key, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I pretty much hard last located Hera. The only other option I had was the Ice Rod Cave Rock, which meant I was just getting really late to everything at the end in terms of trying to find where the logic was trying to want me. So like I was considering climbing GT right then, but I knew I still needed to find Hera, so I wanted to do that first. And I had too many entrances when I found Super Bunny to where I was just I didn't follow it. And so I just continued down the rest of the loop, and I never got back until basically last location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe the other, like, earlier decision point was, like, you mirrored after getting the mirror from Crystal Roller. And, you know, and then you couldn't get the laser bridge, right? Which had your glove, which kind of, you know, snowballed, well, no pun intended, into, you know, the multiple trips into Ice Palace type of situation.
Yeah, I still don't feel bad about that because when I had the hammer already, I was just being able to loop the entirety of Death Mountain and then get back over there and just go to Laser Bridge after the loop. So I feel like in terms of efficiency, it was the right call. It's just that the glove there meant that Ice Palace really sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was unreasonable. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't, like, just have to be a glove was back there, right? And, yeah, these things happen. But I mean, still, I think, like, for what you had, you played the seed well, so... It's just like, I mean, like, Telethar, like, also, like, played extremely well. It's very hard to catch him, like, based on what he did.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. Like, I'm not upset or anything. It just kind of happens. And, like, I'm fairly satisfied with a lot of the decisions I made. It just didn't work out this time. And sometimes that's rando. I'm not going to stress about it, but I will need to get a little Telethar cheerleader outfit for versus Skelly.
Can you stream that, Zelda?
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe? I would love to see some pom-poms over there.
Or just
Yeah.
Or just a voodoo doll, one or the other.
That also works, I guess. But yeah. There's no way, even if Skelly, like, if Skelly were to win that race, there's no way Telethar is losing it by 12 minutes. And that's my condition. If I understand tiebreakers, that's my buffer. So I just have to root for Telethar.
Yeah, Telethar was kind of mentioning this, like, before, you know, joining. So yeah, he says that he either needs to win over Skelly, and then it sounds like both of you will advance, or he needs to get crushed by Skelly, in which case, you would advance. But it sounds like Telthar's advancing either way, right?
No. If I get crushed, then Skelly and...
then Skelly would advance. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so it sounds like everyone's just gonna root for... Well, everyone except Skelly. It's gonna root for Telethar to win. I understand.
Yeah, that's kind of the nature of how this rolls. Whenever it kind of happened to Gem in round 1 too, where like the entrance mode is just going to have a much bigger time of difference than the non-entrance modes. And so if it were to come to a 2-1 tiebreaker, I'm almost guaranteed to lose it. And
Especially like AD keys, like you're just not going to have a huge difference between two really strong AD keys players.
exactly. So yeah, I don't think there's probably a ton to say on this one. It sounds like it all kind of got covered. When not necessarily a god route, but when someone can play that efficiently, and then I make a few bad decisions, that's rando. So big GGs and best of luck on Sunday, I think it is.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for the comms and Restream.
Yeah, no, thank you guys so much for racing. I mean, it was a blast of a race to watch. I mean, obviously you guys are amazing players, and so I mean, honestly, I think everyone should thank Alex for staying up so late. Like it is almost actually getting pretty close to 3:30 a.m. his time, and he started at 1 a.m. So like, it's also okay. Thank you, Korik. You also stayed up. It's pretty much the same equivalent for you. We're going to bed real soon.
Yeah, it's been about that time.
Yeah. All right. But thank you guys again so much. It was certainly a blast, and thank you for taking the time to, well, I'm taking the time to race, but also taking the time to come in and chat with us.
Yeah, thanks again for putting it on. Really appreciate everyone putting on the restream for us.
Yeah. And of course, yeah. Best of luck on Sunday, Telethar.
Thank you.
Okay. Is that it? Do we need to do anything else, Alex? That's it. Okay, cool. Thanks all. It was a blast. Yeah. And then yeah, so okay, let's check the schedule. Okay, at least Sunday for sure. That is yeah, Skelly versus Telethar, and I think Gamma versus Tam is actually in an hour and 20 minutes. They're playing some Fat Keys, and then looks like Specs versus Tam also, same time as Telethar versus Skelly. But yeah, just a couple more races out. So yeah, go watch Gamma versus Tam, and then yeah, everyone be around for Skelly versus Telethar on Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Till then, see y'all. Thank you.